What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys with my next archetype video. This time, we'll be taking a look at the lovely Harpy archetype. To celebrate this channel's 10-year anniversary, I wanted to take a look at the deck that, at the archetype that gives the fuel to this channel. And I figured with any celebration, why not celebrate it with the Harpies? The Harpies are based off of the Greek mythological creatures known as the Harpies. They were predominantly humanoid shaped creatures that have the shape of humans, but the appendages of birds. The Harpies themselves were known in the mythos as wind spirits, and these wind spirits were sent from the heavens by the gods to pretty much pass judgment on to anyone they fit needed to pass judgment on in the world. If you were to be snatched away, and anyone they felt deemed unworthy of this world was to be snatched away. Now, in terms of the Yu-Gi-Oh series itself, this archetype is played by the lovely Mai Valentine, who does take attention to her Harpy cards. For her beauty and her elegance is similar to that of the Harpies, where they're beautiful to watch, but they are deadly in battle. And the Harpies overall have a lot of things going for them in terms of the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! They are the first setup of archetypes in the game. For the Harpies had an establishment of 5 cards when the game started, even when Bandai had the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. Um, Bandai had a total of 6 cards, I believe, totaled for the Harpies. And the funny thing is, a lot of those cards and their artwork did get transmitted over here when Konami and Upper Deck took control. Also, to note that they are the first female archetype of the series, and many to follow after. Then, they're the most heavily censored archetype in the series. For the Harpies, sadly enough, have a bit of a thing known to them, for them having a very BDSM like set of combinations between them. So if you're not too familiar, BDSM is pretty much bondage, domination, sadism, masochism, and in that terms is very sexual in all the aspects of the words. And because of that, in this being, quote, a children's card game, a lot of that had to be removed in a lot of the cards' artwork. So a lot of cards are covered up, a lot of cards are censored. I can actually give you 2 big examples. For the original Harpy Lady and Harpy Girl, had to have their original cards altered in later print, just due to, well, the overall ascent of the game itself. So I did want to bring that up in the cases of a lot of the monsters where a lot of the censorship is seen. Now, without further ado, we do have to talk about the Harpy cards themselves, and we're going to start off with the one that started it all. This is the lovely Harpy Lady. Her flavor text reads, a human-shaped animal with wings. It's beautiful to watch, but deadly in battle. Harpy Lady's artwork actually comes from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, where she is summoned to the field in chapter 14, the Siren, which is funny enough because Harvey Lady in the manga is a level 5 monster, while here she is a level 4. Harvey Lady does have some appearances in a few cards, as she is featured in the cards known as Shadow of Eyes and Elegant Egotist. Her face is being reflected in the kaleidoscope lens in Elegant Egotist. Her lovely eyes are what appears here in Shadow of Eyes. So now we move on to a monster who is attached to the Harpy archetype, but was later on removed, and that is Sky Scout. So Sky Scout was originally known here in the TCG as Harpy's brother, but due to her translations that occurred during the beginning stages of this game, they ended up changing his name as an Astral Pack 2 to Sky Scout because they want to exclude men from the Harpy archetype and keep it predominantly female, which is understandable in that to the case. But some research was done, and I did discover that there were male harpies within the clan, but the clan itself only had males at least one every 100 years. Does it kind of ring a bell to Legend of Zelda and Ganondorf? Yeah, kind of like that. And that the overall ascent is that they just excluded men from the Harpy archetype. They wanted to keep it predominantly female, but I think the only males within the archetype itself are the dragons. And then just the fact that he was only reflected as a Harpy because he shared the same level, attack, and attribute level type and attribute as Harpy Lady. So yeah, that is Sky Scout and the information I want to give about him. Now we move on to what we like to consider a retrain of a monster. And the first one, of course, is Cyber Harpy Lady, who's known in the LCG as Cyber Harpy Lady, Cyber Bondage. So the text on this monster reads, this card's name is always treated as Harpy Lady. Now, before I go any further, I just want to go into the text itself. So any monsters or any spell trapper monsters that have this text attached to them means that they are always that card, no matter what happens. That cannot be negated. If they had any additional effects, those are negated. And that's predominantly what is under the effects of the rules. For the Harpies, have that attached to them, where Harpy Lady, Cyber Harpy Lady, Harpy Ladies 1, 2, and 3 are all Harpy Lady. Meaning, if you were to run these cards in the deck, due to the rulings in minimum and maximum of deck building, you can only run a set of a card if they're not forbidden, limited, or semi-limited. If cards do have that text of this card's name is always treated as a particular card, that means you can only run 3 of that card. I guess it was to, promote strategy and creativity within the deck, but it kind of hurt them at the earlier stages because a lot of people didn't want to play Harpies due to a lot of the situations that the game created at the start. Luckily enough, there were problem solving texts, but that had to come later on when the cards themselves were further released. But if you did want to play a combination of these Harpies, most common combinations are like two Harpy Lady ones, one Cyber Harpy Lady, one Harpy Lady, three Harpy Lady ones, three Cyber Harpy Ladies, Harpy Lady one, Harpy Lady, Harpy Lady. Those types of combinations. And it's only since the fact that you can't go 1, 2, 3 cyber because they're all the same monster. So I didn't want to at least akin to that. Now back to Cyber Harpy Lady. She's just an enhanced version of Harpy Lady who's equipped with the equipped spell Cyber Shield. Cyber Shield known in the OCG as Cyber Shield, Cyber Bondage. The artwork of both of these monsters were, of course, heavily censored due to their BDSM background. Cyber Harpy Lady, for the most part, is, like I said, she's a retrain of Harpy Lady. She has just 500 additional attack than Harpy Lady herself, and that she does kin to more of the other Harpy Ladies, primarily Harpy Lady 1, who is equipped with Cyber Shield. The crazy thing about Cyber Harpy Lady is that she doesn't gain any additional attack from the whip that she's holding in her hand, because that's actually akin to the anime exclusive card Rose Whip, which gives Harpy Lady 300 additional attack. So in retrospective, her attack would be 2100 with 1300 defense. But instead, they only account to her having Cyber Shield. Rose Whip has not been printed, and funny enough, in the manga, this card is actually Electro Whip, also akin to the BDSM background that they gave to the Harpies in the OCG, in that she still doesn't gain the attack of it. But in the anime series and in the manga, they give Harpy Lady Sisters in the attack and defense increase of the cards they are equipped with, Cyber Shield and Rosewhip. And I guess they just didn't want that appeal here. So, Alright, so also to know about Cyber Harpy Lady is that she was the first of the sneak peek cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh series. When Flame Eternity came to TCG, they do what's called a sneak peek event, where you can purchase 5 packs of cards, and a particular special card is given to you from that purchase. Which is 5 packs of that set, as well as the card itself for the sneak peek. Cyber Harpy Lady, her lovely self akins to that, for she gains the she was the first one to be released, SP01EN001, in which she was the ultra rare, and it was actually a reprint due to the fact the tournament pack Cyber Harpy Lady was hard to get for those Harpy players. So they just wanted to make it a lot easier for those to have access to her. And in later prints, of course, she'd become common. So we move on from these lovely ladies, and we get to talk about Harpy Ladies 1, 2, and 3. These lovely ladies make up the monster Harpy Lady Sisters, who are known in the LCG as Harpy Lady 3 Sisters. The Harpy Ladies 1, 2, and 3 do have their own original names. For Harpy Lady 1 is known as Aro. Harpy Lady 2 is known as Akupet, and Harpy Lady 3 is known as Carino. Funny enough, Harpy Lady 2 and Harpy Lady 3 are actually reversed in the Bandai edition. For Harpy Lady 2 is Harpy Lady 3, and Harpy Lady 3 is Harpy Lady 2. Now, the attack, defense, and level of these three monsters make up Harpy Lady Sisters, for it is divided in half, and then as well as the level attack and defense are divided in half after being added up together, giving her the attack of 1950 and the defense of 2100. Harpy Lady 1's effect is that she is all wind monsters, 300 additional attack. Harpy Lady 2 says that she destroys a flip effect monster in battle, she negates that monster's effect. In Harpy Lady 3, says that any of your opponent's monsters that battles with her cannot attack for your opponent's next 2 turns. These 3 monsters, of course, make up the Harpy Lady Sisters, who must first be special summoned by the effects of the spell card Elegant Egotist, which is known in the OCG as Kaleidoscope, the Magnificent Doppelganger. Harpy Lady Sisters do, of course, have the equipment of Cyber Shield and Rose Whip in their artwork, surprisingly enough, but don't gain the bonus from it. Of course, these monsters are featured in a couple of cards. They're in Harpy Lady Elegance and Hysteric Party, as well as Triangle Ecstasy Spark. So that is the lineup there for the Harpy Lady Sisters. And we move on to the next of the Harpy monsters. We have Harpy Girl, level 2 win attribute, Winged Beast type monster. And her flavor text reads, a Harpy chick who inspires to flip about both beautifully and gracefully, but attack sharply. Then we go on to Harpy Queen. Harpy Queen, level 4 winged beast type monster, 1900 attack, 1200 defense. Her effect reads, this card's name becomes Harpy Lady while on the field or in the graveyard. You can discard this card from your hand to add 1 Harpy's Honey Girl from your deck to your hand. She's one of the few field spell searchers in the game to not have the artwork of her field spell in her background. And which is funny enough because the other one is the monster that searches for the Castle Strongbird. Next up is 2-for-1. We have Harpy Channeler and Harpy Dancer. Harpy Channeler, you can discard 1 card from your hand, special summon 1 Harpy monster from your deck to the field in face-up defense position, except for Harpy Channeler. You can only use this effect of Harpy Channeler once per turn. If you control a dragon-type monster, the level of this monster becomes 7. Harpy Channeler is next to the lovely Harpy Dancer, who's also level 4, win attribute Windy Beast monster. You can target 1 wind monster you control, return it to hand. Then gain the ability to normal summon 1 wind monster. In addition to your normal summon are set this turn. You only use this effect of Harpy Dancer once per turn. So these 2 lovely ladies share the exact same background, as their artwork was created around the same time. Harpy Dancer was actually featured in the OCG as the V-Jump promo, and she came to the TCG in a Legendary Collection Joey's World as an Ultra. While Harpy Channeler was, of course, the Ultra and Ultimate in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, which in the OCG was actually not too far off of release, as the V-Jump came soon after. It included Harpy Dancer. She also akins to herself as Harpy, as both of these Harpies are actually featured in the Luring Mirror split and in Harpy's Feather Rest. And Harpy Channeler makes an appearance in the spell card Hysteric Sign and in Harpy's pet Phantasmal Dragon, who she does akin to being able to summon the dragons from the main deck. Next up is Harpy Harvest. This level 4 Winged Beast monster has her effects attached to her that she can use once per turn each. If this card is normal summon, while you control you can target 1 other Winged Beast monster you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and return those cards to hand. During the end phase of the turn, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent to the graveyard that turn, you can add 1 level 4 Winged Beast type monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. And this lovely lady, of course, is featured in the artworks of Harpy's Feather Rest, where she's playing the harp she has in her image. Next up is Harpy Perfumer and Harpy Oracle. These 2 lovely ladies are from Legendary Duelist Pack 4, Sisters of the Rose. Harpy Perfumer effect is when she is normal or special summoned, you can add one spell or trap card that specifically lists Harpie Lady Sisters in its text from your deck to your hand. If you control a level 5 or higher monster, when this effect is activated, you can add an additional card from your deck to your hand, but cannot be the same name as the card first chosen. You only use this effect of Harpy Perfumer once per turn. Harpy Oracle. Level 4, Wind Attribute, Wingy Beast type monster. You can use each effect of Harpy Oracle once per turn each. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpy monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can, during the interface of that turn, you can add one spell or trap card that specifically lists Harpie Lady Sisters in its text from your deck to your hand. I mean, from your graveyard to your hand. Harpie Lady, Harpy Perfumer, and Harpy Oracle, also akin to the other Harpy monsters for having their effects read their names are treated as become Harpy Lady while in the field or in the graveyard. And these two take more akin to My Valentine, for in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, tell people that she was a clairvoyant. She was able to foresee events in the past and the future, and that she could, psych them out in their duels, which came to a halt when Yugi discovered that Mai uh, was cheating and was able to know what cards were coming because she sprayed perfume on her cards, which is akin to Harpy Perfumer in the fact that she has a perfume bottle in her hand, while Harpy Oracle has an orb in her hand, and she's foreseeing events to come or events from the past. Which is funny enough because in Harpy Oracle's orb, she has the picture of She has the image of Harpy's hunting ground, where Harpy Lady 1 is attacking the Ojama trio. Which also akin to the Ojama trio because Triangle Ecstasy Spark is featured in Ojama Delta Hurricane, being reflected, I believe, or absorbed by the Ojama trio, standing up for themselves. So, also to note that Perfumer is on the artwork of Alluring Mirror Split, and that both of these monsters actually do appear on a TCG and OCG map that features these lovely ladies since the release of um, Legendary Duelist Pack 4 Sisters of the Rose TCG and OCG. Now we go into the last winged beast of the Harpy archetype, and that is Harpy Conductor, one of the latest monsters for the Harpy series. So she's a link to winged beast monster with 1900 attack. She points bottom left, bottom right. And just like her kin in the main deck, her name becomes Harpie Lady while she's on the field or in the graveyard. She has you can use each effect of Harpy Conductor once per turn each. If a Harpy monster you control would be destroyed by battle card effect, you can destroy one spell and trap card you control instead. If a Harpy card you control is returned to the hand via card effect outside of the damage step, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and return that card to hand. She was released actually here in TCG in Link's not Link's Interactive in Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge, while in the OCG she was released in Link's Revenge Pack 2, and this is actually the TCG censorship that they did to her, which wasn't too bad, but the color kind of could have been a little better, maybe gray or white just to fit in. But yeah, that is the last of the winged beast Harpy monsters. Now let's turn on to the other faithful servants, and it starts off with Harpie's Pet Dragon. Level 7 dragon type monster, 2000 attack, 2500 defense. His effect reads: this card gains 300 attack in defense for each Harpy Lady on the field. So Harpie's Pet Dragon has some retrains of its own. For Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon is the first up. It's level 4 dragon type monster, 1200 attack, 600 defense. It gains effects based on the number of Harpy monsters on the field, excluding itself. If you control one or more Harpy monsters, it becomes the attack target. If you control two or more Harpy monsters, this card's original attack and defense will double, going to 2400 attack, 1200 defense. And its last effect is if you have three or more Harpy monsters on the field. Once per turn, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. The monster featured in this card's artwork, of course, is the lovely Harpy Girl. And then the last one is Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, known in the LCG as Harpie's Pet Mirage Dragon. It's a rank 4 when attribute dragon type exceed monster, 2000 attack, 2500 defense. Needs 3 level 4 when attributed monsters for its exceed summon, and it gains its effects based off while its effects apply and resolve while it has exceed material. It can attack your opponent directly. If your opponent cannot target Harpy monsters for battle or card effect, and during each of your end phases, attach 1 material from this card. Funny enough, this monster appears in the artworks of Hysteric Sign with its faithful master, Harvey Channeler. Also to note that when the TCG was doing promotions for um, Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, where this card was released in, Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon's background story is that it's a dragon that was summoned from a different dimension in time, coming to aid its masters in battle. So there's a bit of history there for this ever faithful servant. And that is that for all the faithful servants of the Harpy archetype. And now we can move on to all the spells and traps. So excluding the ones that we already talked about, we got to talk about Harpy's Feather Duster, and Harpy's Feather Storm. Harpy's Feather Duster, known in the LCG as Harpy no Haneboki. His effect is destroy all spells and trap cards your opponent controls. Harpy's Feather Storm, known in the LCG as Harpy's Feather Blizzard. Harpy no Hanefuboki. His effect is if you control a winged beast type monster, negate the activation of all your opponent's monsters until the end of the turn. If this card is in your hand and you control a Harpy monster, you can activate this card from your hand. If this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect while in the spell and trap card zone, you can add 1 Harpy's Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Sadly enough, in the TCG, Harpy's Feather Duster is still forbidden at the time of this recording, and also the OCG has this card at 1. So a lot of people are hoping that this card, due to reprints that are hopefully coming in the future, that this card does get printed and that we do get it unbanned. But their combination card is Featherstorm can pick up Feather Duster. And the artworks of Harpy's Feather Storm is actually from the anime itself. And Harpy's Feather Duster is also from the anime in which Mai uses it to destroy a couple of Yugi's spell and trap cards. So that is those 2 combination of cards there. Then we have the attack card for the Harpie Lady Sisters, Triangle Axis Spark. Until the end phase of the turn, the attack of all Harpie Lady Sisters currently on the field becomes 2700. Your opponent cannot activate any trap cards and also negate all your opponent's trap cards on the field. Harpy's Hunting Ground. All winged beast monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense. When a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters is no more social summon, the conductor of the summon selects 1 spell or trap card on the field and destroys that target. Now, on to the next barrage of spells. We have Hysteric Sign. When activated, you can add 1 Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. At the end phase of the turn in which this card is sent from hand or field to the graveyard, you can add up to 3 Harpy cards with different names from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Hysteric Sign effect per turn and only once that turn. Then we have Harpy Lady Phoenix Formation. You can act if you control 3 or more Harpy Lady and our Harpy Lady Sisters. Target as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, but no more than or less than the number of Harpy monsters you control. Destroy all Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters you control. Destroy those targets and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of the highest attack monster on your opponent's side of the field. If a tie you choose, you cannot special summon monsters from your main or extra deck this turn, or conduct battle phase this turn as well when you activate and resolve this card. So there's Harpy's Phoenix Formation, known in the LCG as Harpy Lady Ho Ho no Jin, translated to Harpy Lady Fangguang Formation in other OCG related areas. Next up is Alluring Mirror Split, known in the OCG as Split Mirrors of Seduction. When a Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters is you control is destroyed by battle, this will summon one Harpy monster from your deck whose original name is different from the one that was destroyed. If this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect or your Harpy card effect, you can special summon one Harpy monster from your graveyard to the field. You only use each effect of Alluring Mirror Split once per turn. The artwork of this card has the monsters Cyber Harpy Lady, Harpy Queen, Harpy Channeler, Harpy Dancer, Harpy Perfumer, and Harpy's Pet Dragon. Then we have Harpy's Feather Rest, known in the OC as Harpy's Feather Roosting. Target 3 Harpy Lady and a Harpy Lady Sisters in your graveyard, shuffle them back into your deck. Draw one card. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpy monster, you can draw two cards instead. After this card resolves its effect, you can only summon wind monsters for the rest of the turn. You only activate one Harpy Feather Rest per turn. This card's image, of course, features Harpy Channeler, Harpy Harvest, and Harpy Dancer. Then we have the trap cards. We have Hysteric Party. To activate this card, discard one card from your hand. So summon from your graveyard as many copies of Harvey Lady as possible. When this card it leaves the field, destroy those monsters. Then we have Harpy Lady Elegance. Shuffle back one Harpy Lady and one Harpy Lady Sisters on your side of the field back into the deck. Then special summon one Harpy monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard who have different names among each other. After this effect resolves, you can only special summon wind monsters for the rest of the turn. If this card is destroyed while by your opponent's card effect or your Harpy card effect, you can add one Harpy monster from your deck to your hand. You only use each effect of a Harpy Lady Elegance once per turn. And funny enough, in the OCG, this card's name is the Elegant Harpy Lady. Now, for any other featured cards, of course, we do have to mention the Griffins, who are the Griffons, who are enemies of the Harpies. Griffins Wing. No, his ability is that your opponent activates Harpy's Feather Duster, negate the effects of it, and destroy it. And if you do, destroy all 7 trap cards your opponent controls. This card features the art of course, Phantom Griffin, who's on the OCG as Griffin, a legendary monster who dwells secretly in the mountains, fighting with harpies over the hunting grounds. A single wing beat is said to cause the fiercest of storms. Of course, this monster is akin to the mythological rival of the Harpy archetype in the Harpy itself in lore. They also have their own feather duster, which is known as Griffin's Feather Duster, known in the OCG as Griffin no Haneboki. Destroy all spells and trap cards you control, and if you do, increase your life points by 500 based on the number of cards destroyed by this card's effect. And that is all of the cards associated with the Harpy archetype. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I know it was an extremely long video, but I do thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching it. Thank you guys so much. I hope you like this video and many more to come. Thank you guys for celebrating the 10 years that this channel has been up. And I will catch you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And HPJ signing out. Take care.